Listen to the sounds of freshness.
In the 1960s, advertising faced a kind of scrutiny it never had before. Throughout culture, a rising distaste towards corporate power and the influence of big business on public life bred intense skepticism and hostility towards the advertising industry. The counterculture movement at the time rejected consumerism and the capitalist ethos, often seeing advertising as a tool of social control designed to perpetuate a conformist, consumption-driven society. It was a time of questioning established institutions, of which the media and commercial advertising were intimately tied. It was within this context that Howard Gossage operated. From a converted firehouse in San Francisco, Gossage headquartered his agency, Freeman, Mander & Gossage. The firehouse also served as a salon for influential thinkers like Buckminster Fuller, Tom Wolfe, and John Steinbeck. Gossage was an influential adman and critic of the industry, who often lamented on the overly efficient tools of the period. Gossage wanted to reform the ad industry and publicly argued that buying ad space wasn't a mere transaction, but an opportunity to perform on a public stage. According to Gossage, advertising risked becoming a commercial intrusion rather than a meaningful form of public communication. His call for creativity and respect resonated with the era's push for authenticity and artistic expression. It was a stand to reform advertising and keep the industry alive. Today, advertising faces significant challenges. Consumers are increasingly frustrated by the constant barrage of ads. Ad blockers are here in a big way. Subscription ad-free services are thriving, and the skip ad button is more popular than ever. With all of this widespread disenchantment, it's hard to imagine a time when ads were not only tolerated, but even enjoyed and remembered.
Stop with that commercial, I don't want to hear that.
In our information age, every click, impression, and conversion is tracked and analyzed. Social media platforms have magnified this data-driven approach. And yet, while data empowers smaller advertisers with increased efficacy in ad spend, data-backed best practices become a kind of dogma that hampers creativity.
6 steps to the perfect ad.
Ad spend becomes hyper-focused on measurable results of short-term actions. And optimizing for instantaneous actions means less unique and memorable jingles or cultural icons and more creeped-out consumers and feelings of being manipulated.
How do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service?
Senator, we run ads.
I see.
The creative stagnation is damaging not only for businesses, but also for consumers, who are tuning out and turning to ad-free experiences. The negative sentiment towards ads is so strong that many question their value altogether. So how do we move forward when everyone hates us and our clients only want to pay for the customers they can convert instantly, instead of going for those broader audiences that had expected a show? Martin Weigel, Creative Strategy Officer at AMVBBDO and former head of planning at Wieden & Kennedy, has proposed embracing creative chaos. In his lecture, The Case for Chaos, Weigel argues that the industry's obsession with order and predictability stifles creativity. Instead of chasing data, Weigel suggests we should embrace the messiness of creativity, taking risks, experimenting, and allowing room for bold ideas. Creative chaos involves stepping away from best practices and focusing on storytelling, emotion, and cultural resonance. Weigel believes that when we balance creativity with data insights, we set the stage for great ideas and memorable campaigns. To grasp the power of creative chaos, we can look back to advertising's golden age. Figures like P.T. Barnum captivated audiences without relying on data. They trusted their instincts and embraced the unpredictable nature of creativity. Advertising wasn't just about selling products, it was about engaging with culture and making an impact. By revisiting these roots, we might find the courage and intuition needed for success in today's data-driven world. Implementing creative chaos today involves fostering a culture of innovation within agencies and brands. Encourage teams to experiment, take risks, and embrace creativity's uncertainties. Here are a few strategies. Get out into culture. Advertising should reflect the cultural pulse to remain relevant. Data can't do all the work. Use data as a tool, but rely on human insight and intuition for resonance. Watch the thinking models. Avoid becoming too comfortable with established frameworks. Creativity should challenge the status quo. Make dissent safe. Encourage challenging the norm and make it safe for teams to push boundaries. Put on a show. Advertising is not just about filling ad space, it's about creating memorable experiences that captivate audiences. If you don't love it, don't sell it. By adopting these strategies, we can usher in a new golden age of advertising, where creativity is the driving force behind impactful campaigns, and consumers are engaged with innovative, meaningful ads. So where do we go from here? We face a crossroads. Continue with formulaic mediocrity, or embrace the creative chaos that can rejuvenate the industry. We can either concoct new best practices to squeeze more efficiency from data, or move toward a future where advertising is celebrated for its creativity and cultural significance. The new golden age of advertising is within reach, if we dare to embrace it. Thanks for watching AdPop. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments below. What do you think? Are you ready to embrace creative chaos?